Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off our training today on the basic foundations of web and mobile app developing. This is a foundational course designed to give you a solid start in this rapidly growing field. The presentation is titled Basic Foundations of Web and Mobile App Developing, and it's brought to you by the ADollarClass training team. Over the next few slides, we'll cover key concepts, essential skills, and practical insights to help you get started. So, let's dive in and explore the exciting world of app development together. Welcome to our discussion on app development. So, what exactly is app development? Essentially, it's the process of creating software applications for various platforms like smartphones, tablets, and even desktops. It's a crucial part of today's digital landscape because more and more businesses and individuals rely on apps to communicate, work, and entertain themselves. Now, understanding the difference between web and mobile apps is important. Web apps run in browsers and don't need to be installed, while mobile apps are downloaded and installed directly onto devices, offering more integrated experiences. When we talk about types of mobile apps, we usually refer to native apps, which are built specifically for one platform, hybrid apps, which combine elements of native and web apps, and web-based apps, which function through browsers but are optimized for mobile use. Finally, I want to give you a quick overview of the app development lifecycle. It's a step-by-step process that begins with an idea, then moves into designing the app's user interface and experience. Next is development, where the actual coding happens. After that, we test the app thoroughly to identify and fix issues. Once it's ready, we deploy it to app stores or distribution channels. And even after launch, maintenance is key, fixing bugs, updating features, and ensuring the app continues to meet users' needs. All of these stages are interconnected and essential to creating successful apps that truly serve their users. Let's dive into the basics of web development. So, what exactly is web development? Essentially, it's the process of creating websites and web applications that people use every day. It involves a mix of design, coding, and managing how information is presented online. Now, within web development, we have two main areas, front-end and backend. Front-end development is what users see and interact with directly. Think of the layout, buttons, and overall look and feel. Backend, on the other hand, is the behind-the-scenes part that handles data, server operations, and the logic that powers the website. To build these parts, we rely on key languages. HTML is the foundation. It structures the content on your page. CSS adds style, making your site visually appealing with colors, fonts, and layouts. JavaScript adds interactivity, things like forms, animations, and user responses. As we progress, you'll also hear about frameworks like React, Angular, and Vue. These are tools that help streamline development, making it easier to build complex, dynamic websites more efficiently. Lastly, understanding hosting and domains is crucial. Hosting is where your website lives online, on a server, and a domain is the address people use to find your site, like www, example.com. Together, they make your website accessible to the world. Connecting all these points helps us see the bigger picture of how websites are built, maintained, and made available to users everywhere. All right, let's dive into the basics of mobile development. First up, native development. This involves building apps specifically for each platform. So for iOS, we use Swift, and for Android, we typically go with Kotlin or Java. This approach offers the best performance and user experience because the app is tailored for that specific operating system. Next, there are cross-platform tools like Flutter, React Native, and Xamarin. These allow us to write a single code base that works across both iOS and Android, saving time and effort. However, it's important to understand the trade-offs in performance and access to native features. Now, moving on to mobile UI and UX considerations. Designing for mobile means thinking about smaller screens, touch interactions, and how users navigate through the app. A seamless and intuitive experience is key here. Testing is another critical aspect, whether we use emulators or physical devices. Emulators are great for initial testing, but nothing beats testing on real devices to catch issues related to hardware, performance, and real-world usage. Lastly, we need to be aware of App Store guidelines from Apple and Google. Each has specific rules and standards that our apps must meet to be approved, so understanding those is essential for a smooth submission process. Connecting all these points, mastering both the technical and design aspects of mobile development is crucial for creating successful apps that users love and that meet platform requirements. Let's take a closer look at some essential development tools and environments that help us bring our ideas to life. First up, IDEs or integrated development environments. These are like our command centers. We have Visual Studio Code, which is highly versatile for many programming languages, Android Studio, tailored specifically for Android app development, and Xcode, which is the go-to for iOS development. These tools make coding more efficient and help us catch errors early. Next, we have code repositories like Git and GitHub. Think of Git as our version control system that tracks changes in our code over time, and GitHub as the platform where we can host, share, and collaborate on projects easily. This setup is crucial for teamwork and managing different versions of our codebase. Speaking of version control, understanding its basics is key. Knowing how to commit changes, branch out for new features, and merge those updates smoothly. It keeps our work organized and minimizes conflicts. We also rely on local development servers. These servers run our applications locally, so we can test and see how everything works before deploying it to a live environment. And finally, debugging tools are our troubleshooting allies. They help us identify and fix issues quickly, ensuring our applications run smoothly. All these tools and environments form the backbone of efficient, organized development, and connecting them to our overall theme, they empower us to build better, more reliable software faster. Let's talk about databases and APIs, which are fundamental to building dynamic applications. So, what exactly is a database? Well, it's like a digital storage system where we keep all our data organized and accessible. When choosing a database, there are two main types to consider. SQL databases like MySQL and PostgreSQL, which are relational and use structured query language, and NoSQL databases like MongoDB and Firebase, which are more flexible and handle unstructured data well. Now, moving on to APIs, or application programming interfaces. These are like bridges that allow different software systems to communicate with each other. For example, REST-TFL APIs are a common type that use standard HTTP methods, and data is often exchanged in formats like JSON or XML. To bring this all together, let's look at an example, connecting a login page to a database. When a user enters their credentials, the login page sends a request via an API to the database. The database then verifies the credentials and responds, allowing the user to access the system. This process highlights how databases and APIs work hand in hand to create seamless user experiences. Understanding these components helps us build more efficient, interactive applications that are essential in today's digital world. Let's delve into UI/UX design principles, which are fundamental to creating effective digital products. First, the importance of good design cannot be overstated. It directly impacts how users perceive and interact with our solutions, influencing satisfaction and engagement. On the UX side, key elements include user flow, which maps out the user's journey to ensure it's smooth and intuitive. Simplicity is crucial. Removing unnecessary clutter helps users focus on what truly matters. Accessibility is also vital. Designing for diverse needs ensures everyone can use our products comfortably. Moving to UI, visual aspects like colors, fonts, and icons play a major role in usability and brand identity. Responsiveness is equally important, meaning our designs must work seamlessly across different devices and screen sizes. To bring these principles to life, we often rely on wireframes and prototyping tools like Figma and Adobe XD. These tools enable us to visualize and test ideas early, saving time and refining the user experience. Finally, adopting a mobile-first design strategy is essential in today's world. Prioritizing mobile design ensures that our interfaces are optimized for smaller screens and touch interactions, which are increasingly the primary way users access digital content. All these elements together create a cohesive, user-centered design that enhances overall user satisfaction and aligns with our project goals. Now let's talk about deployment and maintenance, which are crucial steps in bringing your app to users and keeping it running smoothly. For web deployment, popular hosting options include Netlify, Vercel, and GitHub Pages. These platforms make it straightforward to publish your website quickly and reliably. When it comes to mobile deployment, the process involves publishing your app on the Play Store for Android and the App Store for iOS. Each platform has its own set of steps, like preparing your app for submission, complying with guidelines, and going through review processes. An important concept to highlight is continuous integration and deployment, or CI/CD. This practice helps automate the testing, building, and deployment processes, ensuring faster updates and more reliable releases. Finally, maintenance is an ongoing activity. Common tasks include fixing bugs, updating features, and applying security patches. Regular maintenance not only improves user experience, but also keeps your app secure and up to date. All these steps are essential to ensure your app remains functional, secure, and relevant in a constantly evolving digital landscape. Now, let's look at some of the best practices and next steps to keep your development journey on track. First, writing clean and readable code is essential. It makes your work easier to understand and maintain, both for yourself and others who might review or build on it later. Next, learning to use Git for version control is a game changer. It helps you keep track of changes, collaborate seamlessly, and revert to previous versions when needed. Following industry standards is also crucial. Something like OWASP security guidelines can help you build safer, more reliable applications. And don't forget to document your code and projects thoroughly. Good documentation saves time and effort when revisiting your work or sharing it with others. As for next steps, I recommend building small projects to apply what you've learned in a manageable way. Contributing to open source projects is a fantastic way to gain real-world experience and give back to the community. Joining coding communities such as Stack Overflow, GitHub, or Discord can provide support, feedback, and networking opportunities. Finally, consider taking advanced tracks like the ADollarClass courses, which can deepen your knowledge and skills. Overall, these steps and practices will help solidify your learning and prepare you for more complex challenges ahead. Thank you all for your time and attention today. If you have any questions or want to discuss anything further, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can contact us via email at support@ADollarClass.com or visit our website at www.ADollarClass.com for more resources and updates. Remember, the key takeaway from today is to keep learning and keep building, because growth is a continuous journey. Now, I'd love to open the floor for any questions or final thoughts you might have. Feel free to share your ideas or ask for clarification on anything we've covered. Thank you once again for being here and for your engagement throughout the presentation.